What's up, it's Auto Handles, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. But before I can get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's begin. Standings at this point in the season don't mean everything, but right now the Grizzlies are exactly where they want to be. Sitting second in the West with a record of 20-9, this is the kind of start they hoped for in a tough Western Conference that's clearly stronger than the East. Last season is one Memphis would rather forget. Between Ja Morant's off-court issues and a string of injuries, the team wasn't at their best. As a result, they missed out on even making the play-in. After such a rough season, I noticed a shift in how people viewed this team. Back in 2022, expectations for the Grizzlies were sky high, but after underperforming so badly, some started to count them out as serious contenders in the West. That's just what happens when a team falls off the way they did. Even with how well they're playing now, there's still plenty to prove. It might sound strange given their current standing in the Western Conference, but I see the Grizzlies as underdogs. Take a closer look at their roster, it's full of new faces. Just look at the impact role players like their guards are making, because they've really helped the Grizzlies be so competitive in the Western Conference so far. Start with Scottie Pippen Jr. He went from being cut by the Lakers G League team and considering playing overseas to becoming one of the most reliable backup point guards in the league right now. Scottie Pippen Jr. has never been the most athletic player or had a standout skill that made him a major threat, but what sets him apart is his lack of weaknesses. He's a solid, well-rounded player. In a league that often prioritizes specialists with one elite skill, Pippen Jr. is a rarity. Think about players like Duncan Robinson, who are valued and paid almost exclusively for their ability to hit threes at a high rate. The Grizzlies, however, took a different approach. They didn't target a one-dimensional player. Instead, they went after someone versatile, and in their own way, it's proven to be just as effective in certain areas. This Grizzlies team is fascinating, especially with all their new faces. If you haven't watched them in the past year, you might think it's a completely different squad. In fact, the Grizzlies also got a rookie getting time in the starting lineup, which is Jaylen Wells from Washington State. When it comes to underdog stories, he's at the top of the list. Wells only played 2 years of high school basketball and started his college career at Division II Sonoma State. And he eventually worked himself up to Washington State, where he made an immediate impact. Following his junior season, Wells bet on himself and entered the NBA draft, getting selected 39th overall, a rare feat for a D2 player. Now with the Grizzlies, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. In a recent matchup against the Warriors, Wells took on the challenge of guarding Steph Curry. He face-guarded Curry the entire game, holding him to just 2 points on 0 for 7 from the field, with Curry's only points coming from the free throw line. And this defensive effort is exactly why Jaylen Wells is in Rookie of the Year conversations. Of course, no discussion about the Grizzlies is complete without mentioning Ja Morant. There's nothing groundbreaking to report. It's the same Morant who makes Memphis one of the fastest teams in the league. His numbers are slightly down and his three-point shooting remains inconsistent, but while I can't promise his outside shot will suddenly improve, I'm confident his overall stats will. It's been a small sample size and he's only averaging 21 points and 8 assists. Solid numbers, just not quite the 25 and 8 he posted last season. What makes the Grizzlies dangerous is the fact that they're already near the top of the West, even with Ja not fully hitting his stride. If Morant steps up, Memphis could realistically challenge the Thunder for the top seed, and I'd be lying if I said the Grizzlies' success this season is just because of Morant and a few role players. Because a huge part of it comes from Jaren Jackson Jr.'s impressive performance. I feel like Jackson doesn't get enough credit when talking about top NBA forwards, but he's been one of the best at his position. This marks his second straight season averaging 20 points per game, and he's getting to the free throw line more than ever. While Jackson can space the floor with his solid three-point shooting, as he shoots 36% from deep, he's also staying aggressive and attacking the rim. That aggressive mindset reflects the whole team. There's this idea that NBA teams don't play defense and only shoot threes, but the Grizzlies have been relentless in the paint and capitalize on backdoor cuts. They actually lead the league in assists with 888 so far this season. Jackson has thrived in this system, benefiting from the team's ball movement and having one of his best years yet. One of the more overlooked offseason storylines was Jackson declining a $300 million contract extension, betting on himself for a potential Supermax deal in the future. Judging by his play, he clearly wants that raise. Beyond just Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant, this team is loaded with talent. Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark, Santi Aldama, Jay Huff, Gigi Jackson II, Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart, and fan favorite Yuki Kawamura all contribute to making Memphis a serious contender. But what do you think? How good can the Grizzlies be when Ja Morant is back at his peak? Can they secure the top seed? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace. Peace.